Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kamanika Mohottige and I'm an artist. In this vlog, I'm sharing with you my travel stories. Today I'm in Scotland in Fort William and I'm going to hike up Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in Scotland as well as United Kingdom. So come along with me. Hello everyone, good morning. So we are at the Ben Nevis Visitor Centre. This is where we start our Ben Nevis hike. The car park is proper packed with people. There's hardly any spaces for parking. So there will be a lot of people today. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Fort William. So we're going to climb up Ben Nevis. We'll have a go, see how far we get. So let's go for a walk. Come along with me. We're going over the bridge.
Hello.
Hello, hi, morning. It's absolutely beautiful views this morning on both sides of the river. So many hikers. It's a glorious day to go for a hike. That is the Ben Nevis Inn up on the mountain. Now is the actual start of the hike from here. So now we start the actual hike up Ben Nevis, which is a lot of steps to begin with. The little journey up to the Ben Nevis Inn was the one before, over the bridge. Now is the actual hike up the mountain. I decided to take the tourist route. Nothing very adventurous because it's the first time I'm walking on Ben Nevis. I just wanted to use the well-known route just to familiarise myself. So today I'm using the tourist route of Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis is the highest mountain of Scotland as well as the highest mountain of United Kingdom. It stands near Fort William. The summit of Ben Nevis is 1,345 meters, that is 4,413 feet above the sea level, and is the highest land in any direction for 739 kilometers. The summit, from what I've read, is a stony plateau with a lot of boulders and rocks, and there are monuments and ruins of an observatory up there, so we will see when we get there. The summit of Ben Nevis has a large stony plateau of about 40 hectares, which is 100 acres, and that space was used initially as an observatory for gathering information about the weather and meteorological data. So that was, I think, in 1904 or 1883, that sort of time, but it was abandoned in 1900s and it hasn't been used since then. Mountains often remind me of life. It's like a walk in life. Sometimes you're walking on your own and you just have to carry yourself, plow yourself up from all the problems, issues, and just carry yourself. You're all on your own. And I think that's what I love about mountains. They give a lot of motivation and inspiration just to carry on. So we're going up there, and I started this hike pretty late today. I started at 9 o'clock. Normally I start quite early, but today lots of things went wrong. My phone stopped working, computer didn't work, and all of that delayed my journey. So I started the hike at 9, and I've only been hiking for about 10 minutes so far. So today I started my hike a little bit late than normal. Normally I start my hike around 6-7 in the morning. Today I started the hike around 9. That's why it's so sunny. And the weather in the mountain is so unpredictable as well. And it is very sunny, very hot. I would have liked to be up the mountain a little bit more by now, but I'm still at the bottom. Not very far up ahead, but just up for a little water break. There are lots of bugs around. Yeah, let's carry on and let's continue with the hike. The first path to the mountain summit was built at the same time as the observatory, and it was designed to allow ponies to carry supplies to the observatory. So we are working our way up. That is the view behind me. Really beautiful. And then that is the view ahead of me. Long way to go yet. Let's keep walking. Ben Nevis is known to have very complex tundra climate, and in the winter time this is all covered in snow, and this is a ski resort. Because of the very unpredictable, changeable and very complex climate up in Ben Nevis, it is known to cause a lot of accidents, especially in the winter season where avalanches occur regularly, and also in the summertime there will be accidents because it's a very popular destination where people come a lot of the time. So today my main issue is the heat and the sun, and now it's getting about 30 degrees Celsius and I've already drunk about 2 liters of water on the way. So I'm just keeping myself hydrated, the salt levels up with all the food, and making my journey. So this bit is quite flat after climbing the rocks. That's quite nice on the legs. But we're not even halfway still. Long way left to go. And we have been walking about 1.5 hours so far, with the stops, filming breaks. Yeah, so long way left to go. But I'm enjoying the view. It's lovely. Nice sunny day, blue skies, and it's really peaceful around me. I have nothing to complain. It's a nice day. Yeah, and I think another thing about the long hikes is that they make you reflect on life and the journey of life and the struggles of life, and that's what I love about them, because it just gives that thinking space about your journey. Doesn't matter what other people are going, doesn't matter what their journey is like, it's your journey. Just one step at a time, making it to your goal. On my side, that would be the halfway lake. So we're halfway. We have just about the same distance to go. It's a beautiful view, beautiful blue skies and blue lake and the mountain. Maybe I can take a dip on the way down. That's when I truly deserve a dip. I've earned it. But we have a long way to go. Let's carry on walking. Oh, there's a crow. Now crossing a little stream coming from the top of the mountain. Probably from a spring up there. That's the route we have to go. One step at a time. Let's keep walking. More little streams. That's alright. after about 2 hours of walking, that little wash in the waterfall was really nice, really cool water. Now I'm going back up the mountain, making our way towards the peak. We're still halfway. It's lovely weather, really gorgeous weather. You can see the halfway lake behind me. Yeah, just walking up the mountain. So almost 3 hours of walking, and I'm feeling the exhaustion now. And then we reach this bit, which is full of boulders. You can see people resting on the top of the mountain on the rocks, because this is vertical climb and very strenuous. So I stopped too, just to pause to catch my breath and take a view and take a look at the view and just compose myself, really, because it was exhausting mentally and physically. And it felt like it's never ending, and I was walking and everything around me is getting hotter, and I was getting very dry and dehydrated, and the sun was scorching. It felt like I was walking in a desert, and yeah, very exhausting, very, very strenuous on both physically and mentally. I tried to stay positive, looking at the view and trying to find something good. And also I try not to think about the people coming down. People coming down, it's lovely to see that they've achieved it, but sometimes it felt very intimidating. It felt like my journey was never ending. And I think that's a good thing in a way, that mountain teaches you to focus on your own journey rather than about other people. In life even, whatever choices you make in life, in career, in new ventures, just focus on your journey. And that's what I was trying to do, just focus on my journey. Doesn't matter what other people have achieved, doesn't matter what they say, just ignore the negativity. And also ignore my own negative thoughts. That's another thing that I was struggling to cope during this hike. When I saw some teenagers coming down the hike after they've completed the hike, it made me think, how come they're so light? And how come they can do it with a smile, whereas I feel so weighed down? It occurred to me my own negative thoughts are affecting me immensely. Hello everyone. So we're still hiking. We're about 4 hours into the hike now. For the last 2 hours I haven't recorded anything because it's just intense physically and emotionally, and I didn't think I would even make it this far. I was about to give up because it's just so exhausting, and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. But I just kept focusing, kept telling myself I have to keep going one step at a time. And that's what I'm still trying to do. I don't know if I'll get to the top or not. It's just exhausting mentally and physically, and I can understand why Ben Nevis is called Mighty Ben Nevis. And also I have a lot of respect for people who do the 3 Peak Challenge now, especially that I have done all 3 mountains, Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike and Snowdon, on 3 separate occasions. I can't imagine doing them in 24 hours. Yeah, so let's have a little break and then keep going. So as I was explaining, I was thinking at this point, I was worried about my own health. I could feel palpitations, I could feel my heartbeat, and I could feel my heartbeat going around 150, which normally isn't that high. Hello, I've stopped again. It feels it's never ending. Now it's about 1 o'clock, and I'm still going on this gravel road that you can see behind me. It's never ending. It's going on and on and on, and it's very disheartening because I feel like I'm not making any progress. And at the same time, you see happy people coming down. It's like, when is it going to be my turn to reach the peak? But yeah, a lot of mixed emotions. Just trying to hold myself together to get to the top. to walk to the top. Yeah, the view is really nice. I'm just taking breaks regularly and then carrying on. At this point, I was physically, mentally, and completely exhausted. I just autopiloted, and I did a lot of self-talk, motivating myself to keep going because I've come this far. There's nobody's going to help me. I can't sit down and cry. I just have to make myself move because I can either go forward or backwards. Either way, I just have to keep moving because nobody's coming to rescue me, and I have to keep moving. And that's what I did. Plenty of breaks, plenty of fluid, and just kept doing one step at a time. And this rock bit and the scorching sun above me with boulders all around me with no nice view, it was exhausting, really exhausting, very strenuous, and this is probably the most exhausting hike I've ever done. And it taught me a lot about resilience, about keep going, about not giving up, and focusing on myself. And also the funny thing about being a medic is that you think about all the horrible things you have seen in the hospital, about the HOCM, about cardiomyopathies, about sports people collapsing in the middle of their games, very fit, healthy people. Now, I'm not a professional hiker, I do it for fun, so it's making me think about what if this, what if that, what if I collapsed. So I'm getting there slowly. Yeah, keep going. It's a little bit windy now. I think we're getting nearer to the top. Yeah, I'll do the next video clip when we get to the top. Just after I had recorded that video, a medical emergency happened. A young guy collapsed in front of me, and he was in a heat stroke. He was having bilateral leg cramps, he was delirious, he was crying, he was in a lot of pain, and he needed help. And we tried to give him fluids, and we tried to get him electrolytes into his system. There were no cannulas, no saline, but we tried to get fluid into him because he was following instructions. And in the end, we had to call the mountain rescue team because he could not mobilize or walk. But massaging his legs helped, cooling him down with fluids and giving electrolytes helped. And then once the ambulance was called and he was stable, he wasn't very far from the peak, which was a shame. He had made it all the way up here and he just collapsed in front of the peak. So we helped him, and then once he's settled and he was okay, we walked to the peak. I walked to the peak, and I also met a new friend up at the peak. Hello. So we made it to the peak of Ben Nevis. Here we are, and a lot of drama happened on the way actually. There was a guy who had leg cramps. He was low on his salts, and so we had to help him, get some electrolytes onto him, help with the cramps. With that emergency, then we had to call for the mountain rescue team as well to help him because he couldn't mobilize, he couldn't walk. And after that, I met another friend. In that chaos, I met another lady who's a teacher from where I live actually, really random. She lives near where I live, back home. And she had come here to walk up Ben Nevis as well, and she said she had climbed it 3 times over the years. So this is the peak of Ben Nevis. There are lots of little monuments. So where you see behind me here, that's the actual peak of Ben Nevis, and on my left side this is a shelter that with the monument here behind me. So behind me is the war memorial that was built 60 years ago, exactly today, 17th of August 1965, and that's a tribute to the fallen of all nations from the youth associated with the World Federation of United Nations Associations. So that's for a memorial. So this was more of a physical challenge for me to realize that no matter what challenges life faces, I just need to dig deep into myself to find the strength to face the challenges. Sometimes in life there will be times when all I have is myself. I just have to carry myself. And giving up is not an option, because you can't give up. There's nobody's going to come and help you or rescue you on the mountain. You either have to go forward or go backwards and start again. And that's the beautiful thing about mountains. They teach you so much about life, and this journey particularly made me reflect about life and life decisions. And it's been a very philosophical, deep journey, but I hope you enjoyed it. Now it's the time to make my way down. That's going to be the next challenge, walking my way down without falling on my bottom. But yeah, we'll make it. So after the hike up to Ben Nevis, I spent about 45 minutes up on the peak, and then I made my way down with my friend Jill. So I'm going to take this opportunity actually to tell you a little bit about heat stroke, which is very important if you are a hiker, or if you are a sports person, or somebody who's interested in sports, or even just generally knowing about it in the hot weather is very useful. Heat stroke is the opposite of hypothermia. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. It's caused when the body is not able to regulate the temperature, and which makes the body to have very dangerously high body temperature, and in which case the organs in the body start to fail slowly when the temperature gets above 40 Celsius. And the last time I had seen the symptoms of heat stroke was when I was volunteering for London Marathon. As a medic, I was volunteering, and I saw lots of runners coming in with different levels of heat stroke. So the symptoms of heat strokes are confusion, dizziness, headache, and obviously rapid heartbeat, palpitations, and shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, hot, red, dry skin, very burning skin, and in extreme cases it can cause loss of consciousness and seizures as well. So what causes our body to fail regulating its temperature? One thing, for example, today, prolonged exposure to high temperatures. The temperature was about 30, and being in the heat in the sun for about 9 hours, doing exercise with not much water, they're all high risk factors. Dehydration, prolonged exposure to heat, and strenuous activity in the heat increases the risk of having heat stroke. And also there are certain kind of medication that can disrupt the temperature regulation, but in the exercise and in the mountain situation, the three main factors are the exercise, dehydration, and exposure to high temperature without replacing the electrolytes and fluids. So what can you do to help someone suffering from heat stroke in a mountain like this? The first thing, the obvious thing you can do is giving fluids, because you can't move them to a cool shady place. There are no cool shady places on this rocky mountain. So what I did was giving them fluids, giving them electrolyte fluids, not just water but also fluid with electrolytes. That helped to replace it, and also call for immediate medical attention, because patients can deteriorate very quickly and they need to be in an emergency hospital, in a hospital A&E. So that's why we call the mountain rescue team to mobilize. He was already having cramps and he was getting delirious, so it's very risky. We made it back to the visitor center where we first started. It's been a long walk, but yeah, very rewarding. Lots of stories to tell you. I'll tell that tomorrow. I just got some stories to update you on the way. I'll update the stories tomorrow about some emergencies happened up in the mountain and we had to call the mountain rescue team. I'll update you. For now, I need a shower, and I'm going back to the hotel to get a shower. Hello everyone. So this is the day after my hike up Ben Nevis, and yesterday I went through a lot of emotions. We've probably seen through the video as well. Especially the last part of the hike was very difficult, very emotional, very challenging. And then near the peak there was obviously the emergency, and for obvious patient confidentiality reasons I didn't record any of it, but there was a 18-year-old boy who collapsed at the top. Collapsed meaning it wasn't a cardiac arrest, it was he had severe leg cramps, or bilateral leg cramps, and he was very dehydrated and very confused, and he was crying, he was hysterical, and he was in a lot of pain as well because of the leg cramps. I think what happened was he hasn't replaced his lost salts very much. Because of that, he was dehydrated, he was low on his salts, and he was having these severe cramps to the point where he couldn't even walk. He basically could not stand up. So we had to borrow some rehydration fluid from the passers-by, get the salts up a little bit, massage his legs, get the cramps a little bit settled, and then we called for the air ambulance. The helicopter came to casualty evacuate him. The CASEVAC plan as they had planned, so he was evacuated from the Ben Nevis top. So that kind of completely threw me, because I've never actually faced an emergency on a mountain top, thousands and thousands of meters above the sea level. That was my first experience facing an emergency. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, as well as about how to face a challenge and how to deal with an emergency in that setting, because as a senior most medically trained person on the mountaintop, it's my moral duty. I have to help in any way I can. I didn't have very much supplies, but with whatever I have, I had to help. So yeah, there was a lot of more emotions. I was dehydrated myself, and I just don't know how I dealt with it, to be honest. Looking back, it's just all autopilot, I guess. All the training, emergency medicine training I had, it was just autopilot, and all the passers-by were really friendly and really helpful. Everybody was amazing. Yeah, so in the end he was taken up in the helicopter to the nearest emergency department, and I went up to the top of Ben Nevis, continued walking, and there I met a friend. There I met someone who lives near me, which is really random. So on the way down, we walked down the hill together, which made such a difference, because walking down, it was so strenuous. There was so much emotions, physically, mentally. I was so drained, and having someone who understands that situation without ever speaking a word of it made a world of difference. So we made our way down. So I didn't make much videos coming down, because I was just on the survival mode, really. I was just trying to get down the hill as safe as possible before it got dark. So by the time we came down, it was already 7:30. So getting darker, so we couldn't, I didn't make much videos. So looking back, it was unbelievable journey. I really enjoyed it. It was really good, and I learned so much in so many different levels, personal level, medical level, as well as about myself, about how I handle situations, about how I deal with myself, and also lessons as well, things I can improve about myself, things I can develop, things I can learn, things I can train myself to do. So all these different things I can learn. Yeah, it was definitely an amazing experience walking up that mountain. So today was a rest day for me. I didn't do very much today. I went to Glenfinnan Viaduct, just spotted around there, saw the Harry Potter train, and then I went to the monument and spent some time by the lake, and then I'm back at my hotel with enjoying the sunset and this beautiful view. And also another thing was that I was reading about the folk tales about Scotland, and I learned about I've learned about the Kelpies, and I also learned about a dragon that lived up in Ben Nevis, and that was the reason why I created my clay dragon. But I took him up unfortunately, in the middle of all the chaos, I didn't actually get a chance to actually take a picture of my little dragon up in Ben Nevis. So I guess that's another journey someday, up Ben Nevis with my dragon to take a picture of there. But other than that, yeah, it was definitely the most difficult hike I've ever done, but definitely very rewarding. I would do it again if I had the opportunity, but the next time I would be more prepared. Prepared in a sense that I was prepared because it was so unpredictable. Mountains are always unpredictable, and I was prepared for snow and rain and mist, and I had raincoats and jumpers and everything. I had water supplies, I had electrolytes with me, everything with me, except I wasn't prepared to hike a mountain in 30 degrees heat in Scotland. Who would have imagined? And I'm still burned. My skin is still burning from the heat yesterday, and I'm sunburnt very much. I never expected that heat. For the last 2 hours of that journey particularly, it was like walking in a desert with just gravel around, with rocks, and the scorching sun about 30 degrees. So that was something I definitely wasn't prepared for. And another thing, next time when I get the chance to climb Ben Nevis, I would definitely start early, really early, before even sunrise, so I can watch the sunrise up the hill. That's one thing. And also, by the time it gets very, very hot, I would be at least more than halfway up. That's the aim, because I was talking to a lot of people today, people I met here and there, and also in Glenfinnan, and they had done the same hike yesterday, and most of the people I've spoken to had started their journey around 3-4 in the morning, which is a sensible time, because nowadays in the summer the sun does rise, there is light at around 4 o'clock, so you can start the climb. So that's a lesson I learned about Ben Nevis. And also, I think in a sense that I underestimated Ben Nevis, because I just expected it to be something like Scafell Pike or Snowdonia, where you can just keep going and there's greenery, and I did not expect to walk in a desert in that heat. And so that a lot of uncertainty, a lot of change, and a lot of unexpected things happened, which did throw me, but I think I handled it well. And also expect the unexpected, I guess. Because everything fell apart yesterday, because all my plans fell apart, because I was not actually planning to climb Ben Nevis yesterday. I was supposed to meet up with some friends. Plans changed in the last minute, and because of that I changed my plan, and I thought, okay, fine, if we are not meeting up that day, maybe I can go up and down the mountain and come back home early. But that did not happen. My phone stopped working, so I had to get the phone fixed, which took till about 9 o'clock in the morning. So then I actually started the hike around 9 in the morning, which was very sunny and too hot at that time. So so a lot of lessons, actually, a lot of things I learned. So I'm back now at my hotel, and you can see the beautiful lake behind me, just enjoying the sunset. And also I'm just going to enjoy the evening, and I'm going to do a little bit of reading. This is the book I'm reading these days, When Breath Becomes Air by Dr. Paul Kalanithi. It's a really nice book. I've read it before, this book, and it keeps me grounded. It's a story about a neurosurgeon and how he all of a sudden developed lung cancer, and it's a reflection of his life. So it's a beautiful read. It's a very deep book, very relatable book, coming from a medical person. I'm just going to enjoy today. Tomorrow I'm heading back home. Last day in Scotland today, so just enjoying the sunset, doing some reading, nothing too adventurous today, relaxing in the lakeside, in the lake shore. So thank you everyone, thank you for following my journey, as well as the art journey and all these experiences I'm learning and I'm developing as I go along. And so thank you everyone for sharing this space with me, and all your feedback and all the love and support with my art journey as well as with the travel stories. So I will continue to share my travel stories that keeps inspiring me and my artwork. So thank you for all your love and your support. Have a lovely evening and take care, everyone. I'll see you again, and take care of yourselves wherever you are in the world.